Hello and welcome back to GMax Studios. Over the past few episodes, we have been discussing about how to shoot in Aperture Priority Mode, Shutter Priority Mode, and even in the manual mode. In today's episode, we shall take a look as to how to shoot in the program mode. To switch to the program mode on a Nikon or on a Canon, we have to switch to the P mode. Now let's see what happens when we switch to the P mode. The camera itself chooses the best setting for the scene in terms of shutter speed and aperture. Now most people think that shooting in the program mode is just for beginners. And it's not actually true, because the program mode is a very powerful mode in which the camera takes all the decisions related to aperture and shutter speed, and you as a photographer focus on the two most important things in photography. One, which is focus, and the other one, which is your composition. Now the program mode has an extremely powerful setting called the flexible program mode. It is denoted by a star that appears next to the P when you enter the flexible programming mode. To get into the flexible program mode, all you have to do is turn the dial while in the program mode. That's all. What the flexible program mode does, that it locks the exposure value. It locks the exposure of the setting, and you are free to change your aperture or your shutter speed, and your exposure value will not change. Now that is an extremely powerful thing to have at the tip of your fingertips, because you can in the moment decide whether you want to shoot the scene at a wider aperture or at a faster shutter speed. So let's enter the flexible program mode by turning the dial, and we will see a star appear right next to the P when we turn the dial. And if we keep turning the dial in one direction, we will see that the shutter speed becomes faster and faster without the exposure changing, as you can see from the exposure meter. And finally, we arrive at f1.4, which is the maximum aperture on my lens at 1/40th of a second, which is exactly the same reading which was there at the manual settings at the beginning of the previous video clip. Now let's see what happens when we turn the dial in the opposite direction. The shutter speed becomes slower and slower, and the aperture keeps closing down in order to compensate for the shutter becoming slower. So here it is, f11 at 1.3 seconds. We usually use the P or program mode when we don't have time to fiddle around with the settings and time to take decisions regarding whether to shoot in the aperture priority mode or on shutter priority mode, and we cannot afford to miss the shot. I usually don't shoot in the program mode, but what I try and do is when I keep my camera in the bag, I switch it to the program mode. So in that case, if I need to take my camera out and shoot something at a moment's notice, I know that my camera is ready. Do subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends. In the next episode, we will talk about white balance, and I promise to make it really simple for you. Until then, bye-bye.